Lovely. There it is.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Amazing Skilled Modelers Sunday Hangout. I am your host, Scratch and Jack. Amazing Skilled Modelers is a Google Plus and a Facebook community of skilled modelers reaching across all scale modeling genres and mediums, and to encourage friendships from around the world. Oh, shoot. I got my feedback going on.
That is the fastest I've heard you do that.
I got a lot of feedback going on. It's really confusing me. Let's start over again. Amazing Scale Modelers is a Google Plus and Facebook community of scale modelers and reaching across all scale modeling genres and mediums to encourage friendships from around the world. Today, we hope you'll find it to be an important source of information about the hobby, hear about something new, and see firsthand the scale modeling experience. And today, joining me are the usual suspects, as always, to help me kill time and doing all these things. And if you want to join us, the live chat is open. So if you're watching this, obviously you know where the live chat is. So bring your questions, comments, all are welcome today. And don't forget to like, subscribe, comment, and suggest. So we are having community builds, much like all these other places have. Oh, boy, getting that again. You know what? Here, stop that. Here, let me just get, there we go. I don't know. I just got all this feedback all of a sudden. But anyway, moving forward, I'm going to be trying to open up the chat. That's what I was trying to do when I kept getting this feedback. So we do have community builds going on, of course. If you watch the Saturday Hangout, the Across the Pond, you'll see that I have presented to you your new community covers, and they are nautical in nature. And Nautical Navy, that is one of the community theme builds that's going on now. Also, there's real space, and then balsa wood or wood, a wooden model. I was just been looking at some model kits this afternoon. I think I might be getting a Hellcat airplane and building one of them. It seems simple enough because I can't say I've ever built a wooden. That's the whole thing about these community builds. Do something new and something possible. I mean, you'd be surprised how well you might like wooden builds. You might end up doing them. But the whole idea is to expand your horizons and do those things that make the hobby worthwhile and not as boring. All right, without any further ado, I do have a couple of these usual suspects joining us. And we're going to start with Heath. We didn't get to speak to you yesterday, Heath, because it was late at night, huh?
I was falling asleep. No joke. I was trying to pay attention, listening to Bernie and listening to everybody else, and I just found myself going, and we all know what happened last time.
What's that?
We all know what happened last time when I fell asleep. It took you a hell of a time to phone and wake me up and tell me that I fell asleep.
Well, yeah.
But no, I do apologize for Saturday night. It was I had a very busy day that day. I went down and saw my wife's in-laws, and that was a great day. It was a great day, but I'll tell you what, I can't wait for your daylight savings to end and mine to end, because then it'll be at a decent time. So about 9:30.
We're going to have it. The U.S. is going to have it March. I think 11th. That's a Sunday. That will be exactly 3 weeks.
Yeah. We finished ours in April, so when it's finished, it'll be 10:30, which is far more decent time. And then when I finish daylight savings in April, it'll be back to 9:30. So that's pretty cool. But I've been a busy builder. I managed to put my body on my Jordan EJ10 yesterday. So that's all I've got to do now is just the funny thing is, when I started this kit, where you had to start was with the rear downforce. And of course, if James was here, he would be reminding me how much trouble I have with the rear downforce. And I'll tell you what, the struggle continues. It was that hard. Because it's such a small piece, and the holes are so small that you have to try and get every little bit in. So I had to modify mine.
Uh-huh.
This as I said, I put the body on last night. It's had a coat of semi-gloss clear,
Uh-huh.
but I'm gonna have to touch the paint up a bit where the glue has been. So it's but she's almost done. She's almost done. I mean, all the other parts are done. I mean, I've got to put the front downforce in, and there's I've done the wheels. And by the way, in case you're wondering, I painted the yellow.
Ah,
In the, I can just
nice.
There you go.
Nice.
I painted the yellow because the decals that I had on here that you had with these supposed to go like around that part. And it's like every time, okay, when I did my 191 Jordan with the tyres with that, because it was a bigger model, it was easier to do. This is a 124 scale F1 car.
Mm.
So the smaller the part, the harder it is.
Right,
so I
right.
just went, bugger the decals, I'll just paint it myself. And that's what I did. So that's what I've been up to. After this, I've got a few Starship models to finish.
Ah, yeah.
Yes,
I got something to say about Starships later, but you might want to be in tune for that. But yeah, you're going to do a Starship build, eh?
I've got to finish my Excelsior. I've got to finish. That girl's been waiting to be finished for like the original Pop Excelsior.
Right.
And it's calling to me. I need you to finish. I mean, I've started the saucer. I've painted the saucer and everything like that. I just got to do the secondary hull now.
Right, right.
So before I get, and that's another thing I've got coming to me. I've got the new Excelsior, the repop Excelsior. So I'm gonna kind of like do an NCC 2000, and then I'm gonna do the NX 2000 because, to be honest, I've always liked the NX. I've always liked the NX because that's the one we first see in Star Trek 3. So, and that's I'm really looking forward to building that one, plus my Excelsior as well, to get that finished.
2000.
Yeah, I'm really looking forward to building that one because that's the one that I've been wanting to build. Because when the original Pop came out, they didn't have the NX. They didn't have the NX decals. They only had like the NCC stuff. So I'm looking forward to building the NX. And then another one I've got is I don't know if you've seen it. It's the Star Trek original motion picture set where it's got the 1/1000 Enterprise, the 1/1000 Reliant, and the 1/1000 Katanga. Yeah, so it's got. I'm getting that too. So in the end, I'll have 3 of those Enterprises, 1 Reliant, 2 Klingons. And then after that, I'm going to start getting them built on my Titanic. I've got to start doing my Titanic. Because I've got the parts, I've got the photo etch, I've got, that's the one I got from Sci-Fi Fantasy Secret Santa build. So I'm killing 2 birds with 1 stone. 1, the nautical, and 2, the Secret Santa build. So there you go. And then after that, it'll be back to doing what I do best: cars.
Well, yeah, I got a few cars on the works, as you can tell behind me.
Yes, I can see. Well, I've actually got a Dodge. I've got a Dodge.
You know, I went to Walmart yesterday, and I found the 4-foot section way in the back of the store between the toys and the bicycles.
Yes.
Walmart near here, the nearest one where I live is a small one. It's pretty small because those Walmarts can be humongous. Yeah. And finally, I found, and they had the Enterprise with the Space Seed Enterprise, the Snap Kit. They had the Torino. They had the Torino, and they had a couple of gassers. They had. Oh shoot! It was this And I've seen it done on the Facebook community, like this, almost like this customized Cadillac. I think it was with really
Yeah,
soft edges.
Yeah, I've seen that. Yeah.
Yeah, with really soft edges. Oh gosh, I can't remember the name of it, but yeah, I mean, but you know, the prices were they 20 and 25, or I think they may have been 20 or $25. Like the Torino would have been $25 or $30. I don't know. I
Yeah.
just remember, you know what? If they really want to sell model kits, they'll sell them at a reasonable price. I don't think that was reasonable.
No,
Um,
in American dollars, no. Especially in
well,
Australian dollars.
yeah. I mean, if it's something, I every time I go to Hobby Lobby, which isn't very often because that's on the other side of town.
Oh, yeah.
That yeah, that takes 45 minutes for me to get to. So I don't go there. And it's oddly enough, I go there because I get the tester's glue, you know, the red tube.
Oh, yeah.
And,
That's good stuff. That's good
yeah.
stuff.
Well, you
I
know,
like the applicator. I like the applicator you get with it. So you can put
well,
it so it doesn't get all messy.
well, some people think it's less professional, but hell, I mean, it's like anything else. It works just the same, and if not better. Sometimes the old tried and true works.
That was
Yeah,
Revell Professional.
yeah,
That
yeah.
was
There's nothing
Revell
wrong with it. I think Tamiya Thin comes in a very close second, if not first
You know
place.
what? As much as I've tried to look for that, I've looked at my local hobby shop. I've looked at my local Hobby Habit, which is kind of like Hobby Cove over here. They don't have it. They don't have the Tamiya Thin glue. But what they do have is they have the wide range of Tamiya paints like the acrylic, the enamel, the spray can. In fact, the prices for the acrylic are very, very cheap. I think, anyway. It's like about $3 Australian, $3.45 Australian for a jar. And then the cans are like under $15. So, but the kits, some of the kits are really, really out there. I mean, for example, the Bandai McLaren, not McLaren, the Bandai Millennium Falcon Perfect Grade. Normally that costs about $500 online.
Mm-hmm.
Over here at Hobby Habit, where I go to, $850. And
holy mackerel!
Yeah. So
That's
because, and also they've got the Revell Master Series as well, which goes for $650. I'm going, where are they getting these prices from? Because I've looked on the Evil Bay, and I've looked on the warehouse and stuff, on the warehouse sites and stuff like that. And the Revell Master Series is going for about $300, and the Perfect Grade is going for about $500.
Uh-huh.
So I don't know where they're getting their money. I don't know where they're getting their prices from, but it certainly makes scratches my head sometimes.
Well, George is joining us on the live chat. Oh my gosh. I'm even sending some of my homemade cloth pin clamps. Oh, that should be interesting. I think that might be fascinating to see how you modified a clothing pin to do your bidding on a wood build.
Wow.
Yeah. You said you checked out it's a Spitfire and Hellcat. I'm thinking of the Hellcat. I did look up the Spitfire too. And let's see, George. I said I was going to bring. I told you in chat I'd bring up the. Okay, it's on here. It's here somewhere. Here it is. And I only do it because it's my first wood build, and I really don't want to f it up, if you know what I mean, George.
We don't want to f it up.
Oh, this is coming up, so screen share. I was thinking of this one, George.
Ooh, mama. Oh, now that.
Apparently, this is there's a lot of these around. They have new box art, and I think they're more current as far as kits go, and they're running in the $40 range.
Is that a remote control, or is it just wooden?
It's balsa and tissue.
It's balsa and tissue. Yeah, is it balsa and tissue?
Yes, it says right on the box, balsa and tissue construction.
Is that what it says? It does say that.
I know because I
look at that. Oh well,
I built that one.
Well,
Good.
well, this is. I was only thinking of this only because it's $9. Oh, is that? Oh, that's it, George. He said that's it. And you're telling me it's a 16.5-inch wingspan. Well, that's pretty damn big.
Yeah. That's like 16.5. That's about like that. That would be a 148 scale or 132 scale if it was.
Well, it says it's an authentic scale flying model kit. It could. Well, I don't know if it would. From 76, I doubt that they had the battery power and the electric power coming out of batteries to be.
No, they had gas They had gas engines. That one probably is a rubber band engine or a small gas engine, and it would not be a remote control. It would be oh god, kind of on a line the way you fly a kite.
Yeah,
you know, with two strings going out to it.
Yeah,
and you could have it take off and maneuver to a degree while spinning in a circle. They were actually a lot of fun.
Yeah, well, if you like getting dizzy, I guess, you know. I would.
Well, if when you're a kid, you do things like that.
Well,
you know,
that's true. When you're a kid, you do things like that. He says this is. I think he's meaning this is a rubber band kit here, which is fine. I don't mean to fly it. I mean to build it and have some experience in working with.
That's the beautiful thing about those balsa wood models. You can either fly it or you can display it.
Oh yeah,
matter. And that's a 41-year-old kit.
I flew very for mine when I used to do that.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
My God, that's a 41-year-old kit for $9. Serious?
Well, yeah. I mean, some want $20 for it, but I did see repops of it look like repops anyway. Let's see if I can Hellcat balsa wood model kit. And this is actually quite interesting that we're going in this direction in the conversation. I didn't expect to. So, okay, here it is. Oh, this is, since it is a community build, I just want everybody to, you know, feel comfortable in buying these kits. But here's the same thing. Giant scale, this says.
Yeah, that one's a different model. It's the same plane, but it's the same plane, but it's a lot bigger. It would not surprise me if
they don't have the scale on it. It just says giant scale.
Yeah, that's probably the 16-inch one, because I don't recall the cheaper kits being that big.
Right.
Yeah.
George, help me out here. Is this the 16.5-inch one? So
that's pretty big, if you ask me.
Well, at that price, it better be.
I hate it when you screen share eBay or Amazon, because I'm on here trying to scroll down to look at other information, and I'm like, no, wait a minute, that's not my screen. You know?
Well, let me pop back to my list here. Let's see.
Well, there's one there for 16. There's another one there for.
Well, this is the one that I was showing. Yeah, I was showing this one. They want $16.
The one underneath it says it is a 16.5-inch. So I'm probably wrong.
Wow, an F-14 Tomcat with a.
Yeah, a Tomcat.
Man, that would be awesome.
That's probably 30-some inches, he's saying. That seems so big for being such a cheap price. Anyway, here's a very old, a vintage.
Ooh.
Box only.
It's just a box. Yeah.
What?
what you do is
get out of here.
You buy another kit, stick it in the box, and sell it for 10 times as much.
Hey.
You're right there.
Well, I think you'd have to somehow age the balsa in some way, I suppose. So that's I'm just curious. Oh,
sure. There's one there for 69. God's sake.
I want to take a look at. Let's see. It goes Grumman Hellcat balsa wood model. Kit, copy. In the meantime, I just want to show off this particular kit here. This was posted, I think it was today, Stewart's Scale Models, and this very much impressed me. This gentleman just did a fine job.
James?
He does have some close-ups, so let me scroll through his little album here. His weathering, you know what? He could put this probably in a fish tank display and make it look real. I mean,
yeah, he could. Yeah,
submerge it in real water, you know?
The plastic, no, he doesn't say that.
Yeah.
I'll just laugh.
This particular picture is what really impressed me, is this one.
Yeah, the way they've done the rust.
Well, you can the rust from the anchor. Yeah.
Oh, hi, Jim. Happy birthday.
Thank you.
You just came in.
Yeah, we'll get back to that, George. I just want to show this off first. Not a very clear picture, but you get the idea of this guy's weathering or.
How would you shoot that gun with that railing around there?
Yeah, you know something? Very carefully, I suppose.
Yeah. Very carefully. The way that's situated is.
Call me wrong. It could very well be a telescoping gun. It could telescope up, you know.
Stuff like that.
Yeah. I mean, I hate to be the guy that is manning that gun when they submerge.
Well, they don't. They lock it. They lock it in place, and they have a cover that goes over the front and over the top of it, and then man
overboard.
Okay, so I wanted to Google this, George. He says Gillows offers 2 different sizes. I have a 40-inch wingspan Spitfire.
Yeah.
Wow. That's huge.
That's a big one.
Oh yeah, that would be. Oops, that's not what I wanted. I wanted to do this.
Not Google Plus. Google.
No, I want to go to images and see if there's anything there. And enter. Shipping.
Ooh.
Yeah, I think I'm doing a Hellcat. I kind of like that plane. It's really growing on me. Okay.
Whoa! That is big. Have a look at that picture there, Jack.
Yeah, they got a couple of them. They got a smaller one and a larger one. Yeah.
Good God. Oh, you'll have fun with that.
I think it's 1/6 scale. Yeah.
You'll have fun with that, Jack. Oh,
I
look at
think
that.
This one might be the smaller kit, actually.
That's a spit. I think.
Is it a spit?
It
Or
looks like
1/8. They offer 2 kits, a 1/8 and a 1/6 scale.
Well, no, I think you're right. It might be a Spitfire, not a.
That one's a Spitfire.
I'm looking at a Hellcat.
There it is. There, I think, Jack.
Well, this might be
Corsair.
That's a Corsair.
That's the Corsair. Yep.
I
saw a picture with a guy standing next to it.
Well, there's a Hellcat. Yeah.
These are all
Dauntless.
Dauntless would be fun to do.
The Dauntless is a nice plane.
Yeah, Dauntless would be.
World War II.
I built a little Dauntless. Actually, do I have it here? Plastic. Yeah, I built a plastic Dauntless, one of my first models back into the hobby. And I really did have fun with that.
Skyfighter chasing it.
How about this? Do you think this is a Gillows?
No, that's probably scratch.
That's scratch.
That's a quarter scale. Yeah, that's a quarter scale. It's scratch.
That would be a heck of a kit. That would be a heck of a kit. Whoa! That's the Gallows.
That would be very difficult to run with a rubber band system.
Yeah, I would think so.
Yeah, most certainly. It's taking up the whole garage.
No, that's a building table.
Jack, I think you've bitten off more than you can chew.
Well, true. He's going to, and George says he's going to build an easy built Mustang, whatever that means, George.
Easy builds one of the manufacturers.
Oh,
There's
is
Easy
it?
Builds
Okay.
Yeah, they make wood kits. Yeah.
I thought he was making some euphemistic remark.
No, there's a wood kit company called Easy Build.
Anyhow, thanks for stopping by, Jim. Missed you yesterday. And certainly we got some things accomplished yesterday. It was it went on for over 2 hours. So.
Yeah, I seen the listing for the show. It was over 2 hours. I figured, well, you did okay. You must have got something to fill the time with. Yeah.
Well, yeah, it was actually quite amusing too. There were some amusement in that show. So
I saw I was watching the video. I saw the teddy bear. I'm going, what the hell? Who brought the teddy bear to the show?
Oh, that was Phil, and somehow the teddy bear disappeared. I don't know what that was about.
I just saw it. The teddy.
So moving on, let's see. How you doing there, Jay?
What? Oh, I've decided. I had an epiphany earlier this week, and I decided that I'm going to give up modeling because I want to sing.
You want to sing?
Yeah.
Okay. Anybody who actually heard this thing would say go back to modeling. So, doing work on the Discovery.
I still on a Discovery, eh?
Yeah. Oh, this sucker. I'm taking your advice from the last Hangout and paying more attention to detail. One of the things I really hated the back of the docking bay wall or the pod bay wall. I got to turn the screen on here so I can see me.
It would have been easier if you got a movie image and put it on, photocopied it onto a piece of paper and then put it inside and called it a day.
Yeah, I could have, but instead, what I decided to do was build a back wall, and I've got a small lathe. I'm gonna cut the different tanks that need to be in there.
Mm-hmm.
I found in one of my books on 2001, I found a blueprint of the pod bay.
Oh,
so I know what the science section there is supposed to look like, and I've got to figure out how much of it will I see through the window looking through just one open pod bay.
Yeah, how much of it's worth for building and how much isn't. Yeah,
building all this, no one's ever going to see it. Another thing is that. Well, go ahead, Jack. Oh well, don't go ahead, Jack. But also those two weird-looking tanks in the very back there. These are very simple tanks, but the two weird-looking tanks, I found a really nice photo of them.
Oh.
So I can do at least recognizable detail on them. The other three bays, these two things would go in here. I'll make one and then mold it. The other three bays over here are going to be hidden pretty well by spacesuits. that are hanging in the pod bay. So
are those 3 bays where the
quite right? You know, one in front of each one, but they take up about this much room. The 3 suites take up about this much room, and I don't want to use the little two-dimensional people that figures. But I did find Shapeways has a set of like 10 different. Yeah, here they are. I haven't painted them yet, but I started, and these things I don't really care for them. I'd really rather they were more 3-dimensional. And somebody on Shapeways has 1/144th set of 10 1/144th astronauts for, you know, I think it was $15 for this out of 10 of them. 3 of them are just standing, so you could cut the head off and put them on as spacesuits, because the in the pod bay the helmets are separate from the suits. I've been working on the engines. I got the photo etch in the engines. I got a couple of them built. They're drying right now, so I can't show you. But I also got some more supplies. This is a disposable. Get in screen. This is a little disposable paintbrush, but it's very fine pointed, and it's great for getting in just for a little detail, or maybe painting on some liquid latex so that you can mask an area. Because that's how I did the floor of the pod bay. Is I masked out everywhere that wasn't supposed to be black. I first painted it white, and then I put in liquid masking everywhere that was not supposed to be black, and then I sprayed black on there and took the masking off. But there's also this is a little bit more of a foam-like brush, or a more synthetic-like brush. And then I think everybody in the modeling world has seen these things.
Oh, the micro brushes? Yeah,
the micro brushes.
Yeah.
Every one of these things I got from a beauty supply store. Here's 400 of the micro brushes. 400 of the micro brushes in little things here where you tip it and you get them out. 400 of them was about $6. The really tiny brush here came in a pack of 100 for $5.
Wow.
And same price for the foam brushes, which would be good more for either dry, what is that called? Well, anyway, so you got to look around. Don't just look in the hobby store. I always stress, don't just look in the hobby store, because the hobby store is if the hobby store is selling it, they have to make money on it, and so does the company that
usually 3 times the price of what you can find it elsewhere.
Easily. I mean, these sanding things are $1.75 a piece at the hobby store, or they're
65 cents at the beauty supply.
5 cents at the beauty supply, and this 400 and 600 grit. So that's just a way to save money. I actually buy even acetone from the hobby from the beauty supply. Because it's pure acetone. I think this was $11 for a gallon of it.
I buy mine at like Home Depot, and I don't use very much acetone. I mean, I think a quart would be about.
That's the same. That's the same with dental acrylic. Don't buy dental acrylic. Buy nail acrylic at the beauty supply.
Yeah, it's exactly the same.
You're saying, Jay, between you and Jim, you guys are saying that for most of your hobby supply, you shouldn't even go to the hardware store. Just go to the beauty supply store.
Oh, you can find all kinds of stuff. You can find files. You can find scissors, clamps, all kinds of stuff in there.
It's surprising.
You must go in there with one of your sisters, because I can't see me going in by myself into a beautiful.
I get used to it. I've even got a customer card.
Yeah, I did too. I did too. I'm in there. I'm in there enough to justify getting 15 to 20% off every time I buy something.
Yeah. In the beauty store.
So yeah,
okay.
Exactly. And oh boy, I've been working on, like I say, mainly the Discovery. I've also been over here. I had to get some gloss coat paint. I've been working more on the Orion. I'm going to start. I'm going to start decaling this. I'm going to start decaling this, and then once I'm done with the Discovery, I do have a two builds that should take care of 3 of the categories of
real space, nautical, and wood.
Yeah, kind of. What it'll be is what I want to build are, first off, I've got the Revell Gemini capsule, and I've got a upgrade kit for it that is freaking amazing. Yeah, when you're done with it, it looks like someone took a Gemini capsule and miniaturized it to 1/32 or whatever. It's a good size model. That'll be for real space, and then I'm gonna scratch build a model. I have not yet decided which one I want to go with. In both cases, they would take care of nautical, or at least a ship build. But I want to build them out of wood. And what they are is either there was a very early on in the steampunk, in the steampunk era, very very early on, there was a game released called Space 1899, and I love that game, and I keep thinking that it would be fun to build one of the Mars liners or battleships or something, or even a small one, using the designs from that book. The other, one of my favorite series of books of all time, is the John Carter of Mars books by Edgar Rice Burroughs, and they had what they call flyers, which were, they in the books they looked very much like ships, but they didn't have sails. They could fly. They usually like a ship with propellers for flying and such. And that's probably where I'm going to go with it. It's I've wanted to build a John Carter of Mars flyer for years, and I think that would be a lot of fun. So that would be Navy and wood and real space.
Yeah. I mean, I've heard that being talked about, making a real space build out of wood, which is almost very. I don't know.
Well,
you wouldn't expect to see maybe a rocket built out of wood, is my thinking.
Well, you could do that. I've got.
Sure you can.
I mean, people do those desk models that are made of wood, that of all kinds of planes and stuff. And there are
those ones. Yeah, some of those are really nice.
It would certainly be possible to do a desk model like type thing out of wood of something real space. I think it would be very cool. It might be fun to make a wood model of the Delta Heavy, or something that could be cool.
Oh, I've even had whispers of people wanting to, and this even came up across the pond. A car builder can do a real space build, and you know what I'm referring to? Of course, Jim would know.
Yeah. You're talking about doing the Falcon Heavy?
The Roadster.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
So a car builder can do a real space is what I'm saying. What's interesting is I actually picked those three as a lark only because I don't see any of that. Any of it. And so what's interesting is there's been a few people that have been delving into at least the nautical one, like the U-boat that I showed, and of course Dave, he's a community cover for the Google. Was it not the Google Plus community. See, I'm getting them mixed up. I'm just like my children, getting them mixed up. It's the Facebook community. The Facebook community. Yeah, let me go over there and give it a share.
Oh, Victory.
His Victory. I did know he wasn't done when I put him up as community cover. Turns out he needed to do sales. So he did this yesterday. Boy, oh boy, isn't that looking good.
My God, no wonder he was cursing and fussing and everything like that.
Oh, Dave's,
yes.
yeah.
Oh,
Dave's
yeah.
Victory, yeah.
No wonder he was cussing and feuding. Look at that.
He made a good decision getting those cloth sails. It makes a big difference in the look.
It makes it look a lot better.
Yeah.
It makes it more real.
It's a plastic kit.
Yeah.
A lot of the rigging had to be plastic, but I think he pulled off the threads that are the rigging.
Yeah. If you wanted to go through the work, you could make the ratlins. You could build the ratlins up if you didn't want to use the plastic ones. I've seen it done.
And that's the ship that Lord Trafalgar, that Lord Nelson captained. Kiss me, honey.
Oh, he's got a. Let's see.
A blank image.
Well, it's a video actually. My screen is showing as a video. Let me see. Yeah, it's stuck there.
It's stuck. You know what I love about those old-time maritime boats?
What's that?
Even though they were made of wood, they were more sturdier.
Yes. Yeah. They certainly. Well, they had to make them sturdy because the ocean is a pretty rough spot.
Do you realize how thick the walls were on the Victory?
I have no idea.
15 inches.
15 inches.
That's like.
Well, that's not that thick. I think maybe that.
Yeah, but that's a lot for a wood hull. Yeah.
Oh, a lot for a wooden boat. Well, you think about it. Back when it was the Battle of Trafalgar, I mean, that was just like, I think that was against the Spaniards, wasn't it?
Yeah. No, French.
Against the Spaniards.
Against the French.
Oh, the French. No, it's always against the French.
It's always against the French, yes.
Deep swing the monkeys.
Well, yeah. I mean, I'm actually considering getting one of those pictures and trading it out for the Facebook community. So, yeah. Anyway, that is what I've been just going around, the community, and I did post a poll, and I'm not sure if you all had seen it. Have you seen it there, Heath?
Yes, I have. And I voted cats.
Oh, you have a cat. That's right.
It is my cat. I'm knocking over my stuff.
I saw it. I responded.
Which one? Which side of it? Was it on Google Plus or you're not on Facebook? Yeah, you were on Facebook.
Both on Google Plus and Facebook.
Jay.
I did it on Google Plus. I did it right before I came into.
Well, you could have wrote in on the Facebook page your rats. You have rats.
I did.
I'm surprised
That should maybe divulge as to what I'm talking about here.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet, but I've been out of town.
Put one down for children.
If you want to call them pets, sure.
No, I'm talking about 10-year-old children.
Well, if you want to call them pets, yes. Oh gosh, yeah, this is my internet is working so fast. It's making me look pretty dumb, like I am, you know. Gee, let's see.
You said it. I didn't.
I don't know. It looks like I might need Geeked again by Big Best Buy. Scale modelers. Okay, well, shoot, it just moved.
Ha! That's quick.
Scale modelers. See, it keeps moving around. See, I like Facebook because Facebook people are really inventive. Scale modelers are always dividing our time between career and spouses and family. Pets, on the other hand, can divide our resources. How many of you have pets? So far, we've got 12 people saying cats, 9 people saying dogs. Looks like 3 people saying, actually not 12, I'm sorry, 15 people saying cats. 12 people saying dogs, 3 people saying no pets. There's one write-in that said pets that help, in quotations. I'm not sure what that means. One person said the birds that repeat what the spouse says. And then nobody has said fish are very easy to keep, but boy, they soak a lot of money, with no pun intended. See, this is when I need Randall around. Somebody wrote on a comment, no pets, just a wife.
Get off there, Ray. Stop blaming your model. Get out of here.
Sounds like somebody's going to be sleeping on the couch tonight.
That's if
then you become the pet. So, Jim, happy birthday. How you doing?
I'm doing pretty good. Thank you. It's been a busy weekend.
Yeah, busy weekend. Your
spent a bit of money this weekend, but it wasn't for hobby. But that's beside the point.
Is it your birthday today, Jim?
It says on Tuesday.
Well, happy birthday to you, sir. I raise my chalice to you, kind sir.
Well, some of my stuff I've ordered for my Harlock build, Arcadia build is coming in. Oh, I ordered the Paragraphics brake.
Oh yeah, I've got that. That's a nice one.
Yeah, I ordered the Paragraphics folding brake, and I got my candle flickering LEDs in.
Nice.
So the stuff's starting to roll in. I think there's some of my other stuff's held up in China because of the Chinese New Year, but that's beside the point.
Yeah. It's slowing down.
We're going to have some big deliveries, numerous deliveries in March because of that New Year's.
Mine are expected to come in till March the 3rd because it's a 2-week national holiday and the whole country shuts down.
For 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You know, well, they don't have any other real holiday other than they follow some of the Western holidays one day at a time. But
yeah,
that's a big one to them.
That's a big one for them.
Yeah, yeah, and it's at the wrong time of year too. Huh? Yeah. George says happy birthday.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Jim, you look 21 again.
Yeah.
So see how sharp you are. You're 21 plus what?
21 plus 45.
Bloody hell.
He's still sharp. He's still sharp. Oh, very good, Jim. Many more. We need you around. So anyhow, moving on. There was something that caught my eye. Here, I'm just going to screen share this because it's a car build. And just to show that car builders are very.
The Red Baron, yeah.
Bearing. Go figure. Bearing a natural disaster or cat attack. See, this is what I find very common among scale modelers. Like a lot of scale modelers have cats.
Yeah.
Probably the worst thing, you know, scale modeling is challenging enough. Why do you need a cat around?
I find what's weird is almost every modeler I know who does it for a living, you know, like for, you know, Hollywood or whatever, they all have cats.
Well, I know another guy. He's a paper modeler, and he has 2 cats, and it's very common. Very common. He posts pictures all the time. They're both sitting on his workbench while he's working.
Yeah.
Watching him.
Oh, that's too creepy.
Well, I'll tell you what, that's happened to me once with my rain. It just happened last night. I'm just sitting there putting my body together, and there she is, just sitting there going, "Pat me, no, pat me, no."
This is just to show that I'm just working up to the next step. I just want to just blurt out there that Ken, our favorite scratch builder, Ken Skiffington, also goes to beauty shops.
Yeah.
To get his supplies. So I must be out of I must have not got that club memo. I mean, next thing I know, there's a secret handshake, and you guys are keeping me out of something.
The secret
to show that you know, the car builder, and you know, this is I found a video. Let me just preface it with this. This video is Junk Ball Media. That's on Facebook, not Facebook, Google Plus, not Google Plus. See him go through my kids again. YouTube, Junk Ball Media. Every now and again, I'll get something on my stream. This guy actually does an okay job, but I just think it's just a little too much all the time. But certainly, there has been some stirring in the Star Trek universe, or the stirring of the Force in the Star Trek universe. And the only reason I bring this up, in conjunction to cars, you know, car builders are really creative and do these very interesting builds. You know what? I think Star Trek builders are on 2 camps. You got one camp that builds models, and you got another camp that doesn't. And usually the one that doesn't likes STDs. I'm sorry, Star Trek Discovery. And that was supposed to be a joke. And in the season finale of Star Trek Discovery, get a double image here. Here we go. The Star Trek Enterprise shows up. And in this video, he makes comparisons between what's shown on screen. This is the Captain Pike. If you're not a Star Trek fan, I'm probably going to be boring you to death. But this is before Captain Kirk's time and Captain Pike's Enterprise. And of course, the picture at the bottom is really, I don't think it's Captain Pike's Enterprise. It's actually Kirk's Enterprise.
No, that's Kirk's Enterprise, because Pike's Enterprise had spikes on the nacelles.
That's exactly right. I mean, I just picked this because it was a nice graphic. He has such good production quality. But basically, you know, you've got some very. Let's see if I can suddenly. Oh, he's pointing out the window and the bridge, and some lights for the registry. And this is a wireframe of something. I'm not even sure. I quickly went through the video.
That was the Defiant.
Oh, the Defiant. Yes, the Defiant. Then he talks about the nacelles and how it compares to. I like that. Yeah, I mean, the one. Well, okay, Heath. And I'd suggest for all you Starship modelers to go to this channel and check it out. He does a very interesting job in comparing the two. And I'm glad I landed on this picture, too, because this went by me really quick, too. There's a cutout in the pylon. That's actually. It looks good. Oh yeah, it does. It's very interesting. So he does do a pretty good job in making some comparisons here between the two, and somehow I get the feeling that CBS is trying to appease the oldsters like I am. But nope, I'm not going to pay money just to see one TV show. I don't care how much of a Star Trek fan I am. So that's that. Anyway, it is a good video.
Took it down Blu-ray. You'll be fine.
It is a good video because if you're a modeler and want to do some modifications, there's still another iteration that one can do. And certainly you can get maybe a 16-inch kit and try to, modify it to imitate that and so on. And I just brought it up because, what's that?
You know what I like about that Enterprise?
What's that?
It's the secondary hull. I like the look of the secondary hull. I mean, the saucer section's the same old type, same old, but the secondary hull is a lot more rounder. If you have a look at
if you watch the video, that's why I brought up. He did a good job of making comparison because it appears that this iteration in Star Trek Discovery is really a mashing of both the original series and the movies. And we know the movies are very different now than the TV shows are. They just kind of went into separate directions in aesthetics anyway. But I don't know. I think if you were to see his videos, you'll see that particular Enterprise makes a better leap to the refit than the original series to the refit, is my point.
Yeah.
And I think he makes that point in his video that this iteration is a more logical progression to the refit. Because the only thing that's really different between these two is the nacelles, the engines. Between the movies, but otherwise it's practically the same ship. And I think the dorsal neck is too a little different. I think it's it's a little shorter, a little squatter on the Star Trek Discovery one. But that's my point, is that it would be an interesting scratch build for somebody to do. I don't think they're going to come out with a kit. I sure hope not. We have enough iterations that we can actually experiment with as model builders.
Give it to Ken. He'll do it.
Yeah. So anyway, that which brings us to, let's see, if you are doing a lot of scratch building, and Ken, if you're still watching, I want your full participation in this because you're the scratch builder, and George as well, of course. We're talking about cutting. No, not cutting ourselves, but cutting tools. A couple of weeks ago, Jim just had me frothing at the mouth with all those power tools he was bringing up. I thought, well, maybe we'll just narrow it down to some hand tools. Like one big thing, whether you do scratch building or not, you still need a good knife. Knife, particularly like an X-Acto knife, that seems to go to. And I've been taking a look around because you know what, Jim showed. Jim is going to make me. Send me to the poorhouse because he's giving me all these ideas. And let's see. Do you have your strip cutter handy?
My strip cutter, yeah.
Yeah, that's where I'd like to start, because that seems to be a good one to have, particularly in balsa.
Mm-hmm.
And basswood building,
balsa
because
basswood you can use this for, yeah.
Oh, is that a hook?
Yeah, you have that one that looks like a seashell in a way.
Yeah.
And you said you got to hold the blade. Jack, yeah, this is another kind.
That's the other one we were looking at the other night, Jack.
Yeah. Amazon's out of them. Amazon is a cheaper price and they're out of them. Maybe that's why they're out of them. But the eBay ones, I'll bring my watch list up. Jay, would you mind demonstrating if you're able to?
Demonstrating how it works?
Yeah.
Basically, let's see if I've got something thin wood or whatever. Well, maybe I can't guarantee the quality of the cut here because I haven't used it in a while, but you adjust this screw on the side to the thickness of the balsa wood, or I suppose plastic, that you want,
or styrene
over here. Styrene, yeah, and then you would butt it up against here and slide your wood against that, and would cut the piece like this. And if you're doing it on hard surface rather than holding it up in the air like that, it does a lot better job.
Yeah, and it's got an edge that works like a fence, so that you're up against the edge.
Exactly. It's a good little unit. I just I bought it for a purpose. I can't even remember why I bought it, but I haven't used it for a while. But that's only because it was kind of sitting way over there in the corner, and I don't think about it until after the fact. Oh, hey, wait, I've got that. That would have made life easier, So, but it's a nice little unit, and it'll work on styrene to a degree. You're not going to cut 5 mil styrene or really really thick stuff, but small thin styrene you can slice. And it works
the reason
really well.
I'm bringing this up too is that I've been pricing out, and if you're limited in space on your workbench, you might want to consider, and you need both the planks, which are wide strips, and then you've got these narrow sticks or rods, and this cutter will make rods for you out of the sheets. And if you're limited in storage space, you don't need to buy anything but we'll see you later there, Heath. And you won't have to buy the sticks separate from the sheets. You can just go ahead and make your own rods using this cutter. And that would be the same with styrene too. You don't have to, because we know this stuff can get out of hand if you're buying all kinds of stuff.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, God.
And certainly that would be a time saver for like G-Man. He lives on a boat and he models. All hats off to him. He's so limited on space. I was actually thinking about him. So if you're watching G-Man, whether or not live or
you can buy your stock.
Yeah, just
stock.
Buy your stock. Okay. Hold that up again. Oh, there you go. And that's the thickness of what?
That's 1/8.
1/8. So if you want to make 1/8 by
3, 1/8 by 3 by 36.
Okay. There you go. Yeah,
you could make a lot. You could make a lot of 1/8 square stock out of that.
Yes, and it doesn't have to be square. It could be rectangular. It could be any dimension you want it to be using that tool.
Yeah.
Yeah. It does have a limitation, though. I think 1/4 inch is the most it'll want to go through, I guess.
Yeah. Well, what you do if you got thicker material, you can't do it in one pass. You got to do it in several passes to cut thicker material, but you can do it.
Yeah, well, Jay
but if you get too thick, and when you start getting the thicker balsa, then you're better off running it through your if you've got a table saw or something like that, down to smaller stock.
Table saw,
or your fret saw or something.
You have a band saw or a scroll saw.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you don't need all those things. Is the point?
Yeah.
Because if you're limited in space, let's see.
I'm just saying, when I was building model aircraft all the time, I was buying my balsa in 2x4 planks, and then cutting down what I required.
Really? So you've been doing that a long time?
Yep.
Huh. Again, you know what? You guys are holding back on me. I swear, I'm not in a club yet. Yeah, here I am trying to share. Yeah, Jay showed it. I have it on my search.
Yeah, that's it. That's it right there in the middle.
Yep.
I'm trying to. My computer, like I said, is really fast. So blazing fast. There we go. I think this. I wonder if I can click onto this and get a bigger image. And I'm getting Polaroid slides.
It ain't loading.
Okay. Okay. Well, long and short. Oh, there it is. Yeah, a very cool thing. I think I'm going to definitely buy this. This is going to be from the UK. I couldn't find anything stateside, whether it be on eBay or Amazon. Amazon's out of them.
I did find them on another supplier who made tools for balsa work. The other night when we were looking, I found an independent supplier separate from Amazon that was selling all the tools.
Oh yeah? Yeah, I'm going to do that. I am going to do that.
I think they were out of the States. Yeah.
Definitely, but your little seashell there that looks like a seashell. That you have to hold the blade on, and
that you have to. Like, you need the thicker the thicker knife to do it, and because it fits in there just nice, and then you have to hold it with your thumb. You hold the tool in with your thumb when you're cutting.
Okay.
So.
That would be pretty good if you had to do multiple passes, huh?
Yeah.
Because you could adjust how far down that blade goes.
Well, you can do it with the other tool too. It's mechanically. It's at the number 11 is held in by a clamp, and you just loosen the clamp off and adjust the depth for the tool.
Yeah.
So that's no big deal with the other tool too.
Mm-hmm. Yes. I think that's going to be pretty handy because I'm thinking I've been putzing around with my 3D, my Autodesk 3D 123, and boy, I tell you what, that once you get too much stuff on your workspace, it slows down tremendously. But anyway, I've been trying to work with it in a way that I have not worked with it when I did the Daedalus, and it's not working. I don't know, for whatever reason, I'm just not getting, because I got these really funky angles and layers. I'm trying to do layers. Something that would be, oh gosh, if you had a CNC that can carve it off for you, it would be something of that range because there's so many layers to this.
Yeah.
And I'm sure in 3D printing it would work too, just the same. But there's just so many different layers to what I'm trying to do, and I can't figure out how to extrude them and put them together and make them all fit, make everything fit right. There's one technique I haven't tried yet, is to project an image on a surface and then use an extruder to make lift it up off the surface. But why I'm saying this is because I'm thinking of doing this particular build completely scratch, because that's the only way I can think of doing it. And I would prefer styrene, but I think like balsa or basswood would be easier to work with. Do you have any thoughts about that?
Well, it is easier to work with. It's easier to manipulate. You just got different gluing techniques and stuff like that, but it's easier to fill it and sand and shape than plastic.
Mm-hmm. How about you, Jay? Do you have a? Well,
I actually found the company that makes this balsa stripper that I have, and they have it for $8.60.
That's what it is on Amazon when they did have it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's made by a company called Master Air Screw. They design model planes, but I can put that link up for you if you want.
Sure.
Because
go for it.
They have them. So how do I? I'll put it in. I'll put it in the community.
All right. Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay.
I'll do it.
Oh, what happened?
Jay just dropped out.
Yeah, he just dropped out.
He'll come back. You probably pushed the wrong button here.
Master Air Screw. Well, that's the one that I found on the eBay, and that's the one that manufacturer that Amazon had.
Yeah.
Okay, Master Air Screw. That just sounds dirty. Master. Boy, I'm coming up with a lot of airplane props. Oh, air screw, propellers. Yeah. Duh.
Damn it, I hit the wrong button.
Yeah, didn't I say that?
Razor plane. They have planers.
Yeah.
Planes, yeah.
They're calling it a splitter. I think they're calling it Google Plus, or Google's calling it a splitter. Yeah. Tower Hobbies. $8.39. Racing Hobby, $7.35. Oh, and Amazon comes up again. Boy, I tell you what. Now it says currently unavailable. I had it saved. Apparently, somebody bought them away from me. Mile High Club. Okay, George, what do you mean by that? So let's go to Tower Hobbies only because I'm familiar with them. So well, instead of just talking, why don't I screen share my search? There she is.
Yep. 839. Yeah.
I wonder what the shipping would be on this. Yeah. I was even looking at this a little closer. What does it say? You couldn't 3D print this, Sir Jim? Huh?
I wouldn't say you couldn't. The most difficult part is the ratchet part in the for the adjustment for the width. But I'm not saying you couldn't 3D print it. You just have to find a design or design the design for it.
Yeah, true. Oh, Mile High Club. That's your air screw.
Cute. Actually, that was pretty
good. Oh, George, that's why I like you. I couldn't make the connection, as dirty as my head is. I couldn't make the connection. I needed help there.
At the moment.
Anyhow, yeah, I'm gonna have to get one. I have to get one of those because I got a whole bunch of stock here that I bought like, oh gosh darn, I don't know, a couple years ago, even maybe.
Yeah.
And I bought the balsa wood sticks, and I'm not exactly pleased with them. Already warped, and they're I don't know. They're just, I don't know. But this is this balsa? This is the Revell basswood.
Yeah.
And I've got planks here too, and I used a piece of it. I can't remember what I used a piece for. This is a 1/8 by 3. Yeah. So this will certainly make a good set of sticks. This is basswood. Basswood is much more. It's much sturdier.
Yes.
Than balsa. Balsa. I don't know. I'm afraid
more flexible. Yeah.
I'm finding it less flexible, actually. I actually use something. I think if it gets some humidity, it might soften up a little bit. It was too rigid. Maybe it was too dry. It just like snapped real easy. I'm showing you here that's flexing, but it's been out of its package for a while.
Well, same thing. If you got to do an extreme bend on it, then you have to do the water techniques on it to bend it.
Yeah.
Soak it in water, you're saying, and then it'll be flexible.
Well, not necessarily soak it so it's water. Just got to spray it with a spray bottle on it so it's just damp. Don't want to soak it.
Oh, okay. That'll get moldy if you soak it, huh? Don't mind me.
It's like difference between spraying water on a paper towel and dumping it in a sink full of water.
Yeah. Well, like I said, I got a lot of this. I got other planks here too that are actually thinner than what I just showed you, and I only have this one size balsa wood. And
yeah, you can get it down to 1/32, I think. 1/32 thickness.
Yeah, I've had it for a long time, and I figure I might as well do something with it. So, but I'm still going to get my balsa kit and work with that and see what the tolerance is and what the what it's like.
Yeah,
because I have no idea what it's like. And then I bought those very things to scratch build some ever since I've forgotten. But certainly there is this notion that what I'm trying on the CAD, I couldn't see why I couldn't do it in wood. I might fare better. I might have better luck than I am having in 3D, because it's going to be tax time is here, and it's always a great time for Americans to get gets money back. And I spent it on, like anybody else, I'll spend it on things I would normally spend it on. But there's a lot of considerations I'm making here in my workshop. It's just one of the bedrooms in my house. And I'm really hell bent on that 3D printer. I really, really, really am, because I think that's the direction I want to take my modeling in, is to do some of that. The whole idea behind my scratch and jack is that I thought perhaps that I'll be the scratch builder, but I figured coming back to the hobby, I'll do some kits and learn some things about styrene and painting and gluing and assembling and electronics, even doing little scratch builds for things like my Millennium Falcon has a light box in it, that sort of thing. Just
modifications and that.
Get myself familiar with with modifications, because when you're scratch building, and it's a lot more sophisticated. It's much more intensive. And I'm sure Ken can attest to that. It's much more intensive than doing a kit. And so is Jay. Jay does a lot of scratch building too. So yeah, isn't that more intense than just doing a kit?
Well, yeah, it is, because I mean, look at what I'm doing here. I'll look at a kit that's out, and I'm modifying it because I don't think it has everything that it should. But yeah, I do a lot of scratch building, and that I like it because I have to do a lot of research very often, and if you're going to scratch build something that is already out as a kit, what's the point? But if you want to scratch build something that is not out, but you always
want something
liked,
original that's not readily available. Yeah,
or something of your own design, or something that like I would love to build. I can't even remember which one it is. It's one of the Cat series of planes, like the Hellcat and all that. But it's the biplane that shot down King Kong. I can't remember what that was. Which plane that was. But my understanding is that there is not a model kit of it, which is kind of surprising to me. That's something I would love to scratch build. And I know I can find the blueprints for it. I can probably find the original plans for it. In which case, I could use those to make parts and build it from. But I like scratch building because I was an illustrator for 15, 16 years. So I was starting from scratch most of the time. And now with model building, kits are cool. I like kits, but I don't remember the last time I built a kit out of the box without any modification. I mean, even this I'm trying to build this Orion as out of the box as possible.
Yeah,
but I'm still putting the Pan Am stickers on it. Pan Am
doesn't
logo.
matter. I'm just as bad. I'm all at build a model, and there's always something wrong with it or missing from it that you've got to modify, build extra, or something else from scratch. There's always something wrong that you have to fix.
Yeah, there's always something, and you're never quite 100% satisfied.
Yeah.
It's you see all the mistakes that nobody else does. That's one that I notice a lot. But yeah, that's where that's I think that's why I got into it. First kind of scratch builds I ever did was when I was a kid. And that book, The Making of Star Trek came out.
Yeah.
And it was the first time we ever got really good looks at the phasers. And it had...
I did them as a kid, too, scratch building. But looking back on it, they were extremely rudimentary. There was... Because all I had was chipboard, pair of scissors, and Elmer's glue. That's all I had.
Yeah, but you'd be surprised what you can do with stuff like that. You'd be surprised how many really incredible practical models of spacecraft are made of wood, or mainly wood. Wood is a good product to work with because it holds its shape. You can put real fine detail in it, and it's relatively easy to work.
Yeah.
Yeah, George even would add to that. Basswood is also good for carving. If you wanted to carve, well, I think you'd probably need a pocket carving knife for that or something. I wouldn't necessarily use an X-Acto knife to carve.
No, but you can get a little kit of carving tools real cheap. You can go to Michael's and get a set for under $10 or something like that for real.
Right.
First time out, they're good enough for getting started with type things. So,
absolutely.
And it'll be like about 9 different knives in this kit.
Well, because wood would be easier to work with on some level.
Yeah.
But I've heard people say they wouldn't do scratch building in wood because wood warps.
Well, it depends on the wood. It depends on
that and how your structure is. You build your structure right, and
Yeah.
You glue it
How you
properly, and
sealed it?
it won't warp.
Yeah, if you seal the wood properly, it's not going to warp because it's not going to be absorbing moisture, at least not to a major degree.
I don't know. I kind of cut styrene. I think cutting styrene is a pain in the butt.
I've had balsa planes that I had for quite a few years. At one point, they never warped. They kept their shape perfectly fine.
Mm-hmm.
I think people are just jerking your chain.
Scared of working with the material is what it is.
Yeah.
Because it's different than what they're used to working with.
True.
Mm.
Well, this is that's the primary thinking. One of the primary thinking of having that as a community build, because, well, that's where model building came from, was from wood. Styrene wasn't invented until after the war. And well, it was invented, but invented in a way that it was they made it cheaply. Plastic did exist in the 30s, but not nearly in the same quality as.
You have to understand, model building sort of came out of it also was used heavily in industry. So many of the models, especially for pipe fittings, and so many mechanical things, gears, they were all originally built by hand by model builders out of wood.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
they would test and prove them out of wood models before they cast them out of metal.
Mm.
You know, you're right, Jack. I mean, I still remember buying a ship model when I was a kid, and it was made of balsa. Oddly enough, not basswood. It was a really cheap ship model.
Yeah,
but it was basically, and the instructions were: here's a picture of the boat. Carve away anything that doesn't look like this picture. You know, and you know,
especially those block models. Yeah. It just gives you the lines to transfer onto the block and carve away everything else.
Carve away everything that isn't that doesn't look like the boat.
Yep.
And I've done the big the big wooden plank.
Well, another prime example is how many of us that were in Scouts when we were kids built Pinewood racers.
Pinewood Derby racers, yeah. I was in Cub Scouts.
We built those out of a piece of wood. We didn't buy kits. Yeah. We bought the hardware kit, which was the wheels and the axles.
We bought the hardware
but
kit,
the block of wood we got ourselves.
Like a 2x4 or something.
Yeah.
You know, and
I used to see some fantastic jobs come out of those Pinewood racers.
Oh, yeah.
There were some fantastic models come out of it.
Mm-hmm. Modeling has been around, I think.
Way back. I mean, that was the whole thing with model ships. Model ships were built to prove the concept of a design of a ship. The model of a ship was built in wood. A wood model of the ship was built first before the keel was laid of the actual ship.
Yeah, and we're talking. I mean, they found models of ships in Pharaoh's tombs.
Yeah,
in Egypt.
Back to Egypt.
So, modeling has been around for a really, really long time.
Yep.
And for all the youngsters or like myself, doesn't know what a Pinewood racer is, got a Google image here.
Yeah.
In fact, I do believe my cousin made one of these from a piece of 2x4. He called it race car number 66 because the wheels were so big that if it went around a curve and flipped over,
they went down a track with it was like a track that was like a groove.
Basically,
it was like groove. Yeah,
it was like It was like a miniature version of the soapbox derby. You didn't just two cars went up against each other and be released at the same time, and the winner would go on and go against someone else, and just like soapbox derby in a way, and now you can buy kits for Pinewood Derby, but I just remember my dad and I cut a chunk of 2x4 in half and made my car out of that.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a cool one right here. This is pretty cool. Looks like inline skate wheels.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Well, that's a luxury Pinewood Derby. Yep.
Yeah.
That would have some mass to it, some weight to it. So that probably roll.
Well, you did put weight in them. You did put a weight in them. You put a lead weight in them, but they had to meet a certain weight. But yeah,
they had to be a certain weight. That
see, there's the launch rack there. So
yeah, they couldn't be over a certain amount of weight.
Yeah,
I remember that. In fact, they tried to get them to weigh as close to the same as possible. I remember mine was really light, so my dad took out his keychain, and we taped it into the seat of the model, and now all of a sudden it weighed enough to be able to
race.
Yeah, I won one race. I didn't win any more, but I did win one.
Yeah.
It's almost like a rudimentary slot
track. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
No way.
Oh, look at that.
Yeah.
Oh, bathtub. I didn't know this ever existed. How do you like it?
It's been around for...
Yeah. It's been around
years. Forever. I mean, I did it as a kid.
Yeah.
When I was you know what? I could probably do this with a real iPhone.
Yeah.
I have a dead iPhone. Of course, I won't have to paste the screen on, but I have a dead iPhone. I can do it too. It's an iPhone that I tried washing it, and it didn't fare too well.
Yeah.
As long as the wheels are a certain distance apart and it weighs a certain amount, it's a legal car, no matter what it looks like.
They had to be a certain diameter too. There was fixed diameter. That's why you had to purchase the wheels, because they were defined wheels for the competition. But
there's a picture of a Pinewood Derby kit right underneath that that you've got on the screen now. Up or down just a little bit.
Yeah, this are
saw on a block of wood. Yeah.
It's got the wood. And I don't mean the saw on the block of wood. I mean go down one. Okay, right there, the second picture.
Yeah.
Block of wood with the tires, the axles.
That's a kit. You can still buy them. I see they got them at my hobby shop, because the Cubs still race them, and my hobby shop got the kits.
Hobby Lobby has them.
Cool. I certainly didn't realize there was this whole culture behind even this. I feel as though as a child I was robbed. Oh, look at this! It looks like a Batman one too. Look at that.
Mm-hmm.
Nice. Well, that's some sophisticated carving there, though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You could make it look almost like anything you wanted.
George says his dad made great-looking cars, and the racing must be cutthroat these days, he says. No doubt.
I'll bet it is.
Yeah, no doubt. They put sticky glue on my track. I was robbed from that race. But this is look at this. Wow.
Yeah, it's damn, now I want to build one of those. I am dead serious. I think the next time I'm at Hobby Lobby, I'm going to pick up one of the kits.
Yeah.
And just see what I can do with it.
Let's go to Evo Bay again and kind of look up to see what they got available. Here's a Derby track. Oh, that's a pretty small picture.
Yeah.
Looks like in somebody's living room. And
that's a slot car track.
Slot car track, yeah. Yeah, because something that Pinewood Derby cars can't really do is turn.
Yeah.
Got to go straight.
It's like a drag race.
Well, the term Derby when you have the soapbox derby, like during fairs and community fairs and stuff, I've never seen them going on a turn. Derby to me,
it's a straight
implies it
line
goes in a
track.
straight line. Yeah.
You know, like James said, it's like it's like a drag race.
Look at that! Don't these look delicious right here?
Yeah, candy bark racers.
All right, let's see. Go back to Evil Bay, Pinewood.
Pinewood Derby. There's all kinds of the list there.
What? $139?
Probably something someone. Yeah. These are cars that people built.
The collector ones, yeah.
Collector ones, yeah.
Custom built.
14 feet per second.
Custom painted,
Jeez.
best of show.
Yeah, look at that.
Yeah, paint job.
Yeah. Wow. I think I'd be in deep doo-doo if I bought one of these.
Yeah, I cannot imagine a time where I would pay for somebody else's Pinewood Derby car.
Yeah.
I just build my own.
Let's see. Let's try it this way. There you go. Here's a kit. $1.99.
Yeah.
With $10 shipping. Looks like this thing has already been carved. It just needs assembled.
It's rough carved, yeah.
It's rough carved. It's rough carved. Some kid probably cut his thumb really bad on with an X-Acto knife, and his parents sued. And you know,
it comes with your weights and your axles and everything else for it. Yeah.
Might be kind of fun to do again. Just you know.
Mm-hmm. Well, I don't know. The $350 one sounds like that's definitely a collector thing. You might be.
I'm sure there are people who collect. There are people who collect winning cars, and you know, because there's a lot of different categories now. When I was a kid, it was one category, which was the fastest car.
Yeah.
But now you've got
design.
You know, fastest car, you've got design, you've got all this other stuff that comes into it, and it's like everything else, it evolves and it's fun.
Only Jay. I'm not sure what he meant. What's George saying about Only Jay? Yeah, it's Only Jay. Boy, interesting turn this show turned out to be. I didn't expect to be learning about Pinewood derbies and racers, and a whole cottage industry and sport. Maybe one of these days will become a summer sport. Hey, if curling can be a winter sport, I think this could be a summer sport.
Curling can be a sport. I mean, come on.
Curling. Sweep. You know what? I think, you know, my partner said, if I ever have an ambition of going into curling, here's a broom and there's the kitchen floor. Go at it.
It's a lot more difficult than you think it is.
Yeah, but it's hard to wear a badge on your head for a hat. That doesn't make it a sport.
Well, it doesn't even. The sport itself doesn't even look like the word curling. I mean, that's a weightlifting, a bodybuilding thing. It's not a.
No, you have to adjust it for the curl. You adjust the curl of the stone going towards whatever your target is.
Okay.
So the rate that you rotate it and the way that you sweep it and all the controls where though minutely, but it does control the direction and the movement.
I'm just picking on Canada right now. I saw a How It's Made episode where they talked about making a curling stone, and it's a lot of damn work. You know, it's a lot of work, and
And they're more really sophisticated. Now they have sensors in them that come up with a light so that if you don't land the rock right when you run it off, when the stone that doesn't pass the hog line properly, it'll give you an alarm and it's worth what you lose points.
Well, we can't blame the Canadians for curling. I just looked it up. What country was curling invented?
Scotland.
Oh, you're right. It is Scotland. Either they were drinking a lot in Scotland when they invented that sport.
Throw telephone poles,
Anyhow, yes, I didn't think that we were going this direction with Pinewood derbies and the like about wood. Just continue on the wood model building theme on this Sunday Hangout. Next, what were we talking about, Jim, next week? I totally forgot. We were talking about this just Friday. Yeah. Oh, my gosh. I'm older than you are. Just a total brain fart. Oh, shoot.
Jim's 37, I am. So.
Oh, heck. We were talking about next Sunday as to what to discuss. I guess I don't know from week to week what we're going to discuss on Sunday as a tip or a more focused discussion about the hobby. So, across the pond is more of a social get-together. We have a lot of laughs and talk about our builds specifically. And on Sundays, we do something more specific, like we started with the stripping tool, the balsa wood, styrene, / whatever material stripping tool to make just buy flat stock planks and just make your own pieces of wood or styrene to do your scratch builds. And here we get into the Pinewood derbies. I didn't even know. So this is actually great discussion.
I promised I show my face this week. So
okay, very good. Yeah, it looks like the Botox is working.
Yeah, it's cutting in, I think.
Yeah, now you just got to get some Rogaine there.
Yeah. I let Deanne cut my hair.
Oh, you're all 2 strands of it. Okay.
We've earned every lost follicle.
Well, it's really funny because Matt turns to me and says, "You're lucky you have hair." I know. I looked at him, and I'm like, well. I looked at him, and there was one joke that came to mind. What do you call a line of rabbits walking backwards?
Oh, receding hairline?
Yeah, receding hairline. So that's when I was looking at him, I was thinking about that joke. I mean, because I have a pretty prominent forehead. But anyway, what does this have to do with scale modeling? Absolutely nothing. Just like Archie Bunker said one day, he says some of the greatest minds and greatest thinkers have bald heads. And he says, just like the old saying says, grass doesn't grow on a busy street.
Yeah.
And Edith remarked, neither does it in concrete. So, your head is either a busy street or concrete, which it could be both, quite frankly.
Mine is both, to be completely honest. So.
Again, what does this have to do with scale modeling? Absolutely nothing. Anyway, so next we thought of something for next Sunday, and we'll try to make it as exciting as this was this week. Randall would have been here, but he said he had to get up early in the morning and drive someone off a pier. Oh no, sorry, drive someone to the ferry, and he'll be gone for a month. He said because I think he's
big ferry.
He said he's well, no. He said, he's going to go on a cruise because a close friend of his is getting married, and they're going to get married at sea. And I think that's a good way. If you don't like the wedding, you just throw your bride off the side. I think that's not a bad idea. Yeah.
Jack.
Oh, George must have a follicle handicap too. He says, God only made so many perfect heads. The rest he put hair on. So I have never seen George. I feel like I know him. Now that I know he doesn't have any hair on his head, I feel I know him more than I should. Anyway, Next week, we'll have some more tips and some discussion about specifics in the hobby. I'm glad you showed up, Jay. Thank you so much for your participation in this. It was invaluable, and it's good to see that your discovery is coming around.
Yeah, I took a bunch of pictures of it. I have not posted them yet, but I will. They'll go up tomorrow probably.
Oh, very cool. I'll be looking forward to that. And Heath, of course, showed up. And thank you, Heath, for stopping by as well. And, of course, James, you've got a busy weekend. Didn't expect to see you. You told me not to expect to see you.
Well, I didn't know what time I was going to get back. So it ended up I got back in a reasonable time. So I'm here.
Very good. It's good to see you. And thanks for your participation, too, because I look up to you. All great men are follically challenged. You know that. So anyway, and George, thank you for stopping by and making next week or 2 weeks. That's 2 weeks. 2 weeks. 2 weeks. It's every 2 weeks, every other weekend. So the next one will be March. Oh, already March 10th and March 11th. Sunday will be the 11th. March 10th would be across the pond. That's on a Saturday. So, do I got that right?
No, it's March 3rd or March 3rd and 4th.
Oh, I got that wrong. Yeah, you're right. March 3rd and March 4th. Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
The reason why March 11th came around because that's daylight savings time. No, George, it is March 3rd, March 4th, every 2 weeks. So, yeah, I guess that's pretty much it. I don't have anything else. Maybe you'll see something on my workbench next time, or maybe you won't. I'm actually waiting on for the Chinese New Year to end because I'm working on this.
Yeah, we're all sitting here with bated breath waiting for our stuff. Yeah.
How dare they shut the countries down for an entire 2 weeks? There's just something anti-capitalist about that, you know.
I ordered something from them, and every day I'm looking at it and going, it's still processing, for Christ's sake. Oh, wait a minute. Chinese New Year. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, they're such dogs, and that's what they are. They're doing their New Year's. Their New Year's is the year of the dog now. So, yeah, we'll see you in 2 weeks. Until then, everyone, happy modeling. Happy modeling, and we'll see you in 2 weeks. Good night.
Have a good night.
Bye.